Hello everybody, welcome back. It's kind of a late start to the Sunday video, so it's going to be coming up this evening, but as I mentioned in my community post, we were heading into the city today, about an hour's drive away, and well, it's August, so that's when it's clearance season in the garden centers, and my purpose in going to the city was to try and find some fruit trees, and we did. We found you'll see it in a second here, but it's a beautiful 3 variety of pear tree that apparently only grows to some 10 or 12 feet tall, which is kind of dwarfish for a pear tree, but in the car right now it looks pretty big, because remember, we recently had to get away from the Jeep and got ourselves a little tiny Ford sedan. So check out what we had to do for driving home for an hour today from our adventure. This is fun. Look at this over here. So we have a tree quite literally stuffed into the car at the moment. Desperate times, desperate measures. As you can hear, I've got the lovely shocks on the camera.
It's a tree that gives shade.
Yeah, it throws shade, man. It's internet tree. But apparently we've got the main type of tree and then 2 other type of pears grafted onto it. So because there are 3 types of pears, we don't need a specific pollination tree. So even at 40% discount, this thing was still like 70 bucks. But $70 in 3 varieties of pears should pay for itself in hopefully a reasonable amount of time. Now, getting this out, we knew getting this in that getting it out was going to be an adventure. We had to take off the support stick because it was exactly 1 inch too long. So we'll just put that off to the side. I'm going to use that for my addle project later. We're going to put that off to the side for now and try and gently peel this puppy out. I could try and take it out the front and just wrap it around like you do. I'm going to try and take it out the front. We got a new stove coming today too, so the bear in the kitchen channel is going to get more interesting. And by the way, guys, that's bears in the kitchen because Shocks apparently is going to start putting some stuff up there too.
Oh, no pressure now. I'm holding the camera. Okay, so we took the headrest off. Oh, good job, love. Put the seats all the way back, and I got to sit in the back seat. Oh, that works so well. Oh, I'm in my garden.
Where is that plant in the parking lot putting it in the car?
I just tripped over my garden.
It's got a bit of a wobble to it now.
Well, it needs its stick. You don't get to use that as an addle.
No, that's the spear. I'm going to chuck with the addle.
Oh.
That's all.
It needs its stick.
It will get its stick. But we're going to put this into the ground today so we don't have any issues like with that cherry tree where I thought I killed it because it was in that pot for like 2 months. So
Put your hand up. Yeah, it's taller than that. Yeah.
I put it at 11 feet already, 10 feet. I'm not buying it. We'll see once it's in the ground. Pear trees get to 35 feet apparently. Fascinating. I'll see you in a second.
That's right. Take the tree. You take the tree and put it over there. It's tall.
Alright, so we've gotten this thing out of its poor paper packaging and we're looking at it to see kind of what the 3 varieties of pear are. And it says we've got an early gold pear here as the mother. I like how that's labeled on the white tag there. And then a little farther up the tree, we have an Uri pear, which I was looking at as a potential for us anyway, because apparently it's a good Manitoba variety. And then I think that said at the 4th burr or bud, it's hard to tell. But we've got the golden spice pear, I'm guessing at the top or one of the 3rd branches out. I've never had one of these multi-fruit trees to mess with before, and it's going to take us a couple years to find out, but it's going to be fun. So we've kind of decided, if you want to step back a little bit.
Down and zoom out. Take that.
Oh, the zoom on that camera is terrible. I should have warned you about not using that.
Sorry. Edit.
We've kind of decided, you know, where we're going to place it, how we're going to place it. It's all growing straight up right now because it was all crammed in against a whole bunch of other trees. Really, it didn't have a chance to grow. It's been sitting for months stuffed in I think this was a crappy tire when we found it. A tree in a cubicle, really. Nobody likes cubicle life. So we're going to straighten that up. We're going to plant it so it can spread out, and it's going to be a really nice addition, I think, to the permaculture around the yard. So, huzzah! I got to go get a shovel.
Okay, we're recording.
So I'm just following my mulch ring right up until the tree is in the way.
What a great idea to mulch, JT.
You know, it does work out well. Hadn't really been doing it with this in mind, but this little bush we're pulling out was a gift from a previous neighbor that turned out to be a non-edible tree. So, big rock there, I think. I am only too happy to get rid of this.
I'm just here for the roots.
You do seem to rather enjoy those root reveals.
That's really down there now, hey?
Well, it's had 3.5, 4 years.
Has it been that long? All right.
That's exactly what I suspected.
Uh-oh.
We're going to need more leverage. So on a side note, found some LEDs to replace the fluorescent shop lights downstairs. Not a terrible price.
So are we going to move this to anywhere else on the property?
Fire pit would be good.
Like outside the back fence?
I think there are a couple of these growing out there.
Okay.
And there are even a couple of the genuine choke cherries growing back there. I'll throw it over the fence. Give it its natural chance. If it's that determined to live, then that kind of proves it's a weed to begin with. Biggest difference between a weed and a flower is a weed is a stronger will to survive.
Okay.
At least we planted this so that we know there's no creepy knives down there like that rose at the old place.
Oh, yeah. Do we need to plant a creepy knife with our trees? Is that a rule?
That was a rose bush, so I don't know. This thing is surprisingly well bunkered.
That's deep. I don't recall digging that deep when we put it in there.
Deep, no.
I was
This
a
is
little
the
hyper
roots.
spastic with the digging, but... Geez, eh?
We may have to take slightly more drastic measures.
So while JT fights with the rest of those little bits of roots,
Arr.
and what does it say? A hole twice as big as what you're going to need. I got a spider on me.
You got a daddy long legs on you.
Ah! Thanks. Shut up. Dude, okay.
It's in the hole now.
Whatever. There's the tree he ripped out of the ground.
Arr, savage.
Arr, savage. But the roots on that are pretty mad. That's pretty big. Not bad for being in the ground a couple of years. So hopefully, and he's already threatened the pear tree.
I'm like, this is what happens. Shook it at the tree.
Yeah. All right, still digging. How's it coming?
Well, I've hit the hard packed clay. That topsoil is not very deep.
Okay.
These poor prairies have been so ravaged.
Okay, so while he is over there digging the hole, I've been sent over. This is the garden right in front of the chicken coop to pick up some good nitrogen-rich compost to help that tree. Just get a little bit of nutrients at the bottom of all that clay. So I'm going to scoop it into our ice sled and go over there and take it to JT.
All right, well, we got to make this kind of quick because the mosquitoes are starting to set in pretty fierce. But here we have our lopsided tree. We're going to straighten that up a little bit on our tiny bed of compost that shocks through in there. And it looks like maybe not twice as far as, you know, width goes, but we've got more than enough. We can mix in some of our typical ground soil, some of our chicken compost and leaf mulch, and this tree will have a pretty good start because that's basically what we did for the cherry tree, except we didn't have chickens. It was just leaf mulch. No chicken.
Are we going to massage the sides so those little roots coming up have a little wake-up call?
Wasn't really
Perfect.
part of my plan, but it doesn't sound like a terrible idea. for root-bound plants. Do it for any other species. It's never occurred to me to do it for a tree.
Nice.
Didn't seem too bad though, as far as being packed in there. And it's clearly growing in a very wood chippy type thing, so we might not have even needed to really worry about the chicken mulch. So I'll put in a little bit of ring of this, and we'll put in a ring of the good stuff from the ladies.
Oh, that's clay.
Yeah, we're mixing it all up in there. If it's going to grow in Manitoba soil, it better learn to deal with clay. Because that's what we've got out here.
Ooh.
This could be the next home for that bad brains pepper the way it keeps growing. This is larger than the pot that we've got from the cherry tree, which is what it's growing in now.
Uh-oh.
Is that an uh-oh that I heard?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Do we need to watch you fill this in?
Probably not. Down just yet.
All right, well, you're being recorded.
Well, good thing I'm minding my manners. Tell you what. Grass growing through that mulch, but it pulls out pretty easy from these clumps anyway. So we've got our ring of chicken compost, leaf mulch, whatever you want to call it, in there. We're putting back in the natural clay and topsoil. Is that better? Trying to straighten it up a bit.
I think that's perfect.
Straighten up and fly right, Mr. Tree. All right. And backfill it in.
Oops. I love you very much.
Very much indeed. And the three types of pears is quite interesting, because pears do normally need another species to pollinate them, apparently. So even if only 2 of these make it, we've still got a self-pollinating tree. So that's wonderful.
And why we found the value in this also is because of that needing the second pollinator and having to pay for it and have a second tree that may or may not survive our climate.
Yep.
So this kind of helps us ensure that we are going to get proper fruit.
Yeah, and getting them from garden centers and such is not the cheapest way to get a tree. That's absolutely true. Even at a 40% discount, this was not cheap. But I could order them online, be like 35 bucks, but 1 or 2 feet tall. So that's it. All right, everybody. Well, it's time for me to go in and clean up. We've got this well planted, a nice mound at the base, so the next couple of rainstorms in this first winter should pack it all down. It'll be fairly level with the yard by the time we look at it in the spring. Really excited to have 2, hopefully 3 varieties of pear growing off a single tree. But yeah, it's a permaculture thing. It's going to take a while to see what we've really got here. So if you're interested, stick around. It will probably turn up in random garden updates, but most likely in the permaculture series on the Bear Family Farms channel. So again, yeah, if you're interested, make sure you go over there, check it out, sub up, you know the routine, hit the bell. We're random. It's like that. Anywho, thank you guys for your patience today. I know it's a late video, and they've been kind of weird with their production schedule as of late, but hopefully we'll have something coming up in the Arrow Garden, or up in the Bear's Den, I should say, in the next few days. I've got some very interesting news. I've been chatting on email with somebody, but I'll share it when it's a reality. So until then, it's just weird people in email, right? One never knows. All right, everybody, much love, and take care of yourselves until next time.